Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and the patch 10.05 is finally here, launching later this evening in the region of NA after an extended maintenance. This brand new update adds even more open world content to the Dragon Isles, and opens up an opportunity to turn endgame items into gear with tier set bonuses. Content like the Mage Tower makes a return, and a brand new feature of the trading post is set to release later next week. This update also brings with it a ton of class changes, which includes talent tree revamps, new gameplay options, and general class improvements. So in today's video, I wanted to highlight all of the important class changes which will affect the way that your class will perform and endgame content of this new build of Dragonflight. But right before that, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you're looking to get regular class and content updates for all the future and upcoming Dragonflight pre-patch and beta builds. The class of Druid is seeing big overhauls to their talent trees, which includes both the class tree as well as the individual spec trees as well. Starting with the class tree, we see cost reductions to some of the more expensive talents, which required a lot of point commitment to reach some of the more sought after gameplay options. There's now new connections between talents to allow for better fluidity when customizing your build. Major gameplay defining choices of each spec have also been moved higher into the early portions of the talent trees to make it much easier to access. And a new choice node has been added, which helps modify the value of Typhoon, either by making it more effective or increasing its availability. Balanced Druid spec tree has also seen positional adjustments, which promotes more builds using Solar Beam in group content and adjusts the latter portions of the talent tree choices. Cosmic Rapidity replaces Circle of Life and Death, causing new periodic effects to occur more frequently without reducing their overall duration, which greatly improves the playstyle and rotation. Lunar Eclipse has also seen changes. Instead of increasing crit chances of Starfire, it now modifies the damage it deals to all nearby targets, making Starfire more consistent in AoE encounters. Feral Druid Talent Tree has also seen positional adjustments. You will notice that Berserk and all of its modifying talents are now in a much closer proximity towards the middle of the talent tree, making them much easier to access. Feral Druid talents like Relentless Predator and Rampant Ferocity have been bolstered to try to promote more builds centered around Ferocious Bite. But to make sure that bites don't overpower bleed builds, we see buffs to talents like Infected Wounds, Rip and Tear Open Wounds, which help further support damage over time gameplay. Guardians have also seen talent tree revamps. You will find a lot of the familiar talents have been moved into different locations, with the bottom left and right portion of the tree becoming more thematic. New talents have also been introduced as well. Capstone talents like Raise modify Maul to cleave all targets in front of you. Raise gains all of Maul's offensive and defensive passives, which opens up for more Maul-themed gameplay. Lunar Beam is another new capstone, which places a beam on a druid's location, which singes all targets with arcane damage. And just like Raise, this talent also sees a lot of interaction with arcane-focused talent options. Finally, Thorns of Iron is a new talent node, which causes druids to erupt for physical damage for a portion of their overall armor, creating a new armor-focused offensive playstyle. Restoration druids gain new talents which help promote the use of Nourish. Nourish can either help extend the duration of your active healing effects with every cast, or become a powerful emergency heal after a few regrowths. The healing spec of the Evoker class has also seen more improvements, specifically for builds which delve into the time-twisting benefits of the Bronze Dragonflight. The prime ability of Temporal Anomaly has been redesigned to be more consistent, emanating shields through all allies it passes through. The spell no longer requires pulses to apply its healing benefits, and the Bronze Orb no longer slows down upon making contact, making it much easier to aim and apply effectively. Temporal Anomaly cooldown will be increased to help compensate for its improvements. Nosdormu's teachings helps reduce the cooldown of empowerment spells by a few seconds for every temporal anomaly cast. Resonating Sphere talent causes Echo to be applied to the first 6 allies anomaly passes through. And Time of Need has seen a 30-second cooldown reduction as well. The spec of Marksmanship has seen a slight rework of the talent tree, starting with the talent of Salvo. Salvo can now be activated separately instead of automatically applying with the next multi-shot or volley, which yields better ability control. The talent of Calling the Shots becomes more effective at reducing the cooldown of True Shot, shaving off 2.5 seconds for every 50 focus spent. Finally, Marksmanship will have to say goodbye to the ability of Double Tap. This active effect has been replaced with the passive talent of Tactical Reload, which causes rapid fire and aim shot to cool down 10% faster. Based on the early numbers, this change will impact Marksmanship's burst output, but greatly improves their consistency. In most PvE encounters, this change does not impact Marksmanship much in terms of overall performance. In PvP, however, Double Tap was a very useful skill, which allowed for some incredible burst output. Specifically, when you pair this ability effect together with skills like Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire channel can bypass most obstacles, and even fire through walls once the channel has started to keep its damage output consistent. Double Tap greatly empowers the rate at which hunters fire their shots with Rapid Fire, which results in burst combos and can even lead to one-shots while the hunter hides behind a wall or a pillar. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the removal of Double Tap? Are you personally going to miss this ability? Or do you think it's a good move that they removed it because of the frustrations that it could cause within PvP? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Like Druids, the class of Monk is also set to receive a variety of adjustments, starting with the tanky Brewmaster. First, Brewmaster's Resonant Fist passive damage is being greatly reduced in patch 10.05, but the damage of combat abilities like Keck Smash is bolstered by 10%. Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, and Spinning Crane Kick are increased by 20%, and Breath of Fire is further improved by 25%. This will mean the monks will need to adjust their playstyle going forward, as a lot of your damage you deal will come from active abilities rather than passives, especially in content like Mythic Plus dungeons. Talents like Gift of the Ox, Quick Sip, Staggering Strikes, and Graceful Exit will cost 1 less talent point to talent into. And Spirit of the Ox causes your kicks to spawn a healing sphere, improving your overall self-survivability. Mistweavers see the return of the old friend Shaylun's Gift. With Shaylun, active combat draws healing mists to your location. Unleash Shaylun to heal a target and nearby allies. Shaylun can also be modified with Shao Hao's Lesson, which empowers your combat capabilities. The empowerments are going to be the Lesson of Despair, which grants you a greater critical strike chance while above 80% health. Lesson of Fear decreases all damage that you take and improves your haste by 20%. Lesson of Anger causes a portion of your damage and healing to echo on the target every 4 seconds. And Lesson of Doubt causes your damage and healing to be 30% stronger based on the target's current health. Mistweavers have gained a new talent of Burst of Life. The cooldown of Life Cocoon is reduced by 20 seconds, but its absorb value is greatly decreased as well. When the cocoon explodes to damage, it releases a burst of mist that will restore the health of 3 nearby allies. When playing the Feline Mistweaver build from Monk, you will retain the Feline's healing benefits for a few seconds when moving out of its blue lines, which allows for much greater maneuverability. Holy Paladins are set to receive new gameplay changes in patch 10.05 as well. First, we have the aggressive melee Paladin playstyle, which uses Avenging Crusader, which saw a few adjustments. Crusader cost has been shifted to 5 holy power instead of a mana cost as a resource, with a much shorter cooldown of 45 seconds over the original 2 minutes, but a 12-second duration over the original 20 seconds. Long term, this should allow Crusader to be available more frequently when trying to counter group-wide damage with damage of your own. Holy Caster builds are also receiving some support as well, with improvements to the healing output of Tyr's Deliverance, Inflorescence of the Sunwell adjustment, causing every 3rd empowered Holy Light to grant holy power, and Tower of Radiance, which provides additional holy power when healing allies out of a critical condition. The class of Priest gains a few new talent options, starting with the class tree. The new talent of Sanguine Teachings will share a node with Vampiric Embrace. Sanguine causes the priest to gain 3% additional leech, a stat which is very much sought after by most healing playstyles in Dragonflight. Sanguine can be further augmented to grant 5% additional leech when using the talent of Sinlayan. Discipline Priests see big overhauls to their protective utility, as well as the support for holy and shadow focused playstyles. Pain suppression can be further modified to either provide a large heal to the protected target, or gain a second charge along with its original cooldown reduction benefits. Power Word Solace has found itself being more included into the variety of priest talents, promoting this ability in a holy magic focused build. Discipline Shadow playstyle has also seen improvements as well. Spells like Mind Blast will gain a second offensive charge. Shadow Covenant automatically transforms your holy spells into shadow magic. Shadow spells also help contribute greatly to atonement healing output with the talent of Abyssal Reverie. Holy Priests see adjustments to the Burning Vehemence talent, which causes Holy Fire to radiate a portion of its damage onto nearby targets, improving Holy's damage output in AoE content. Shadow Priest's talent of Psychic Link has been improved, and will now function with spells like Mind Games, Void Bolt, and Void Torrent, greatly increasing Shadow's ability to cleave with a single target focused build. All rogue specs regain the ability of Feint as a baseline skill. Feint's original talent choice location has been replaced with a node featuring Elusiveness and Cheat Death to make this defensive passive effect much easier to talent into. A new talent of Unbreakable Stride takes place of the original Cheat Death Elusiveness location, releasing rogues duration movement slowing effects. Assassination rogues see more adjustments to the talent tree. First, the talent of Kingsbane and Dragon Tempered Blades will share a talent choice slot in the middle of the row. The talent of Dashing Scoundrel has also had its cost reduced, which allows Assassination to pick up 2 capstone choices more consistently. The talent of Arterial Precision takes place of the initial Kingsbane's location. Arterial causes Shiv to strike additional targets. All enemies hit by Shiv will be vulnerable to bleed damage on top of all of the other talented effects. For Outlaw Rogues, the talent of Killing Spree will come with a damage reduction effect, in case the teleportation aspect of the spell places you in an awkward position. Fan the Hammer's pistol shot generation is also being reduced in this upcoming build, though it should have very little impact on Outlaw's performance since the current build is gaining a new talent point in the class tree to make up the difference. While Shamans are not expected to receive many new talent changes, we do see damage tunings for both Restoration and Elemental. LA sees buffs to help it perform better in AoE encounters like Mythic Plus dungeons. Restoration sees greater value from talents like Acid Rain, as well as damage increases to Flame Shock and Lava Burst sustain damage output. Next, we see changes to the class of Warlock. The capstone talent of Soul Keeper has been redesigned. The Demonic Jailer will deal its full damage over 8 seconds, with every soul they collect simply increasing its overall output. The talent of Inquisitor's Gaze is a passive proc effect. Your spells have a chance to spawn the Demonic Eyeball, causing it to do increased chaos damage, before fading back into the Twisting Nether. Affliction Warlock's Soul Tap ability has been removed, as it created issues, with the ability often disrupting the smooth combat experience. The talent of Focus Malignancy has been added to the talent tree, increasing the damage of Malefic Rapture against targets infected by Unstable Affliction. Soul Swap has also been redesigned, and will now copy the duration of your damage over time effects from one target onto the next, while transferring Unstable Affliction to that secondary target. Destruction Warlock sees greater support when using builds themed around Shadowburn, by incorporating the spell into talents like Ashen Remains, Eradication, and Burn to Ashes. Lastly, the class of Warrior sees big talent adjustments and improvements as well, starting with a spec of Arms Warrior. Arms gains the ability of Sweeping Strike's baseline, as well as the talent of Defensive Stance without the need to invest a talent point. The Arms talent tree is filled with new talent choices, like Improved Slam, which greatly augments the ability's critical strike value. Talents which buff Overpower improve the damage of Dreadnought also. Skull Splitter will natively cause deep wounds to expire instantly, with Tide of Blood further enhancing its burst capabilities. A new talent of Spiteful Serenity will share a choice node with Anger Management. It will now help increase the duration of Avatar and Colossal Smash while slightly reducing the ability's offensive value. We also see the return of Ignore Pain, which helps Arms Warriors offset a portion of the damage they take, greatly increasing their survivability options. Fury sees a lot of underused talent options receive a bit of a tune-up. Talents like Onslaught see a 40% damage increase, with Tenderize Enrage effect lasting a little bit longer. Auto attacks enhanced by Frenzied Flurry are now 30% more effective, which could potentially empower single-minded Fury builds. The talent of Anger Management helps reduce the cooldown of a Ravager, which could enforce a Ravager-focused playstyle. Besides PvE class changes, patch 10.05 also brings in PvP-specific adjustments as well, which will change how your class interacts with others within the open world of War Mode, Battlegrounds, or rated arenas. First, we see the general PvP gameplay get slowed down a notch, as the 2-set PvP Trinket set bonus will see a reduction to its primary stats and an increase to stamina, which will give players more time to respond to PvP damage accordingly. Death Knights lose some of their anti-magic defensiveness, but regain a little bit of healing upon death strikes. Unholy Death Knights lose damage value on Virulent Plague Disease and the pressure exerted from Necrotic Wound. Feral Druids take a hit to the overall PvP output, with Rake, Rip, and Bite seeing damage reductions. Feral and Resto see survivability reductions through the talent of Frenzied Regeneration, which will also impact their emergency healing opportunities. Balanced Druid's PvP damage has been slightly adjusted. The spec should be a bit more upfront on damage without solely relying on the tier set for damage sources. Devastation Evokers are set to lose some burst damage, but gain a bit of consistency output within PvP. Preservation Evokers saw a few adjustments to the popular talent of Dream Projection. Hunter Pets have run into survivability issues within PvP. This is why Roar of Sacrifice damage transfer has been reduced to compensate. Arcane Mages executes are incredibly powerful, which is why we see a reductions to the Arcane Bombardment talent. Retribution Paladins are seeing a big shakeup for PvP. First, the personal survivability tools like Divine Protection, as well as the self-healing elements of Flash of Light and Healing Hands have been increased within PvP. The burst damage of Final Reckoning, Radiant Decree, and Aura of Reckoning has been considerably reduced, but the sustained damage of Crusader Strike, Exorcism, Consecration, Templar's Verdict, and Final Verdict has been increased to compensate. Shamans have also lost burst damage opportunities, as Restoration Shaman's Stormkeeper has seen a lessened effectiveness, while Elemental's tier set 2-piece bonus, as well as the talent of Primordial Surge, see damage reductions of 50% and 60% within PvP. Fury Warriors have fallen behind as of recently during the first season of Dragonflight PvP. Therefore, the damage of certain talents, as well as the healing reduction value of Slaughterhouse, are being brought back up to give them more of a competitive edge. And for now, that's going to be the highlight of all of the major class changes arriving today with the Dragonflight patch 10.05. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video, or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.